Credits, and in this video we're going to take a look at all of the changes that TradingView has made in the last week. Now today is April 10th, and yes, I did have to look, but there has been many changes since the last time that I talked to you about some of the updates on TradingView, and I wanted to go over some of those with you because that's what we cover on this channel. We cover a lot of stuff with TradingView, PineScript, and a bunch of details and tutorials and sharing a bunch of indicators with you. And I've got a lot to cover today, and we're going to get started with financial information. So if you're curious as to what's been changing with TradingView, you can always check out from their menu, and there's always a section called What's New, and if there's anything new since the last time you checked it, there'll be a little red badge over here with a number of notifications that you've missed. I believe it'll even show up on the menu icon itself, so you can click on What's New and you scroll down and see everything. I'm going to go through these one by one with you so you can see what we're talking about. Now, one thing I did want to share with you before we started talking about the financials and some of these other features is that I have just published a new indicator. This is the fancy triple moving averages. So if you're familiar with my other indicators that I've done, this one has combined a lot of the things that I've done and I've added. And if you're curious as to why part of the moving average is brighter than the other part, and that's because the highlighted part are the candles that are actually included in the moving average calculations. This is a 50 period moving average, so it highlights those 50 candles. This yellow one is 100, so it highlights 100 candles, and the red is 200, so it highlights 200 candles. So that's all there is to that. I'm going to take that one off here because you can always check that out on my profile looking at the scripts. Now back to the financial information. They have added, and you can find this in their blog, they have added financial functions and metrics into Pine. Now they have a whole guide for it on how to do this, but essentially they've just added a new function called financial, and you can pass in the symbol that you're working with and the financial ID. Now those are the most important things that you need to know, and let's take a look at how this is actually used. Now I've already came up with a script here. You can see there's two lines. The red line for Apple is the accounts payable, and the green line is their cash and equivalents. So let's see how that's actually done. All you have to do is call this financial function, pass in the symbol that you're working with, and then the ID of the financial information that you want to use. Now to find that information, they have a guide. Here you go. You can click on this. I believe this is actually in their FAQ or their help section, but you can also click on the guide here, I believe, to find those, to see what the different IDs are. And these are all of the different types of information based on the financial ID that you can look at and when they're available. So there's tons of information available. You can see cash flow, ratios, what were the first two there? The balance sheet and also the income statement. So there's tons of information you can look at, and the script that I've done, I've added the accounts payable in red and the cash and equivalents in green. So if you look currently, now there's so many numbers here with Apple, but they have more obviously accounts payable than they do cash and equivalents just by looking at the chart. You can tell that with this, and you can always create your own scripts to be able to do that. Now if you're curious how to create your own scripts in Pine, check out the tutorial series that I have on my channel, and there's a lot of great information to get you started on learning Pine so you can do that for yourself. Or if you're interested, you can always contact me and I might be able to help you create your own as well. Now let's continue moving on. After we did that, they've also added some new exchanges. Essentially, you're going to be able to look at these exchanges and their data on TradingView. They do this occasionally to where they've added more exchanges, and they've honestly added some pretty big exchanges this time. Huobi, KuCoin, OKCoin, and OKX, those are all pretty big exchanges compared to some of the others I see here. So it's good to see all of those on here, and if you follow them on social media, they all seem to celebrate being added onto TradingView as well. Now, another thing that's really interesting, I think you have to be a premium member on TradingView to get access to this feature for the second-based resolutions. But let's go ahead and switch the chart that we were using earlier to Bitcoin, and let's remove these financial functions. We don't need these anymore. And let's change our resolution to 1 second. So if you're a premium member, on TradingView, you can see 1 second candles. You can see data and how the prices change with candles in 1 second intervals. So this is pretty cool stuff, I think. But what's even more cool is that you can actually do bar replay. So you can see here how it's painting new candles every second. We can use the replay feature now to go back and replay based on these second-based values. So look, it took us back to here, and we can hit play, and it's going to show how those candles were loaded in, even on 1 second time frames. This is really cool stuff, in my opinion. I'm not sure who's going to actually use this for what they're doing. I don't know how many people have scripts based on second-based intervals. Anything under 1 minute is pretty intense, if you ask me. I would probably never use that myself, but if you are interested in that, you can now, and you can see the replays based on that. And that's just crazy to think that this data is available to you. And not only can you see it as it's happening, you can also go back and look at it again to play back and see how your indicators or your strategies would have acted as it happened. But if you don't have access to the second-based intervals and you do want those, and you're considering actually upgrading to the paid plan, please check out my profile, and you can see all the stuff that we do here on the channel. But you can also click into the description of this video on YouTube, and you can see there is a referral link that will help you get $30 and me $30 towards an upgraded plan. So if you want those second-based resolutions, you can actually do the referral plan and actually help get yourself to that paid plan. Now, the other things that they've done, they've come out with a little bit more information for you to help you learn about securing and protecting your account. This is all pretty standard stuff. Using strong passwords, using unique passwords. That means not using the same one for all your applications. Personally, I use a password manager to help me. That way I do have different passwords for all of my major sites, particularly sites that deal with financial information or the ability to move my money around in any way. They also have some other things that you can do to check for these things, but most importantly is just have some common sense when it comes to these things, and always keep up to date with what you're doing. And one of the good things that they did share here is these sites where you can check to see if you've already been hacked. You can actually go and see if your password has been compromised anywhere based on your email or like a username that you can put into these sites. It'll tell you if your username or email shows up on a list anywhere as one that has had a password leaked, and it can even show you potentially on some of these what the leaked password is if you've put it in to the list. So I can't remember which one that one actually is, or if it's another utility I'm thinking about that's entirely different, but definitely looking to see if your email has been included on a list before, and if a password might have been included on a list is a good way to see exactly how secure you are, especially if you're using passwords on multiple well, if you're using a password on multiple sites. Even if you just use it on more than one, it's kind of a security risk. Now, like I said, I personally only do it on ones that have financial information or sensitive information. If you're just using this on a random site that you don't really care about, that you're not buying anything from, then it doesn't really matter too much. But I still probably would tend to say that you should probably use a different password for every site. Now, they've also given you the ability to extend lines for some more drawing tools, such as the pitchfork, the Fibonacci retracements, and some other ones. You can see the list of them here. And really, all you have to do is, on the style, choose to extend the lines. So let's actually go ahead and take a look at the Fibonacci retracement or the pitchfork. It looks like I've already got the pitchfork up, so let's do that. All right, let's go to its settings and choose extend lines. So now you can see this pitchfork extends forward and backwards on the chart to where you can see all the lines. And apparently you can also do this now with the Fibonacci retracements. Let's see, here is that. Let's look at its settings and extend the lines left and also extend them right. So that's a really cool tool. In my opinion, you can now get these to cover pretty much your whole chart forward and backwards. And that's pretty much it for the last week in what's new in TradingView. As I mentioned, you can always check out my TradingView profile. We have tons of scripts that we're working with here. I do tutorial videos on those. I also come up with other indicators that I like to share. And if anybody needs something done in TradingView, I can also help you with that if you need it and you can't quite get it done on your own with the tutorials. I'd be willing to help you with that one as well. If you have any questions, just reach out. Now, once you ask me to start doing your work for you, then there might be some services that we can look into where I can help you. But for the most part, if you're just seeking help on the tutorials, I like to help out whenever I can. But other than that, I already also mentioned the referral program to help you get your $30 towards your paid plan if you need to do that. Other than that, if you like this video, please like. I'm going to be doing more of these TradingView update videos because honestly, they have a lot of features coming out pretty often. This has only been like a week to a week and a half since the last video, and we already had like 6 different things to cover that were pretty important in my opinion. And then also, please subscribe to the channel, because if you like that video and you like these updates, you're probably going to want to subscribe to the channel so you can see more of the updates in the future. I also do some other videos, like I already mentioned, about the Pine Script tutorials. I also talk about some crypto projects and kind of do some crypto news and TA as well, just because that's the kind of stuff that I like. But other than that, that's it for now. I'd like to thank you for watching the video and have a nice day.